Hey, what's up everybody? In today's video, I want to go over UFC events that are happening in December 2021 and the potential impact that they can have on the fighters' cards. Also want to give you a quick update as far as UFC Chronicles, which is the next Panini NFT set. So let's get into all that right now. Okay, so first off, an update on UFC Chronicles. So currently we only have Select, which is the first UFC NFT set. Chronicles is the next set, which we have known for some time was coming, but we didn't know a release date. So this is the official UFC email blast that they just sent out today on Saturday. And if you scroll down to near the bottom of the email, we have an advertisement. Coming soon, Chronicles base pack. So there's no date on this, but what we do know is that UFC 269 is next Saturday, December 11th, and likely Panini is going to tie the release to that pay-per-view. So probably maybe a couple days before, but I wouldn't expect it to be after. Typically what they do is they start with the base packs, and then a couple days later they have the first insert packs, and you usually have a challenge with every single drop, including the base pack. So Chronicles has a lot of different insert sets, so I'm looking forward to lots of different inserts to chase as well as challenges. Now on the Panini Discord channel, Brett from Panini mentioned that they're going to be minting these within the next few days, so that's just another indication that they're right around the corner. Okay, so the very first UFC event we have in December is UFC Fight Night Font versus ALDO, which is happening tomorrow, Saturday, December the 4th. We have 3 fighters who are going to be on this card who have UFC Select cards. So those are the ones we're going to focus on. And the very first up is Jimmy Crute. So Jimmy Crute is ranked number 13 in the light heavyweight division. He's a -170 favorite, so they are expecting him to beat Jamal Hill. Crute has a very good record of 12-2, and also his card is a rookie card in the Select set. And so, you know, there's that, the potential for more upside is there because, you know, rookie cards are already targeted in a set, and so when that particular fighter is also doing well, you can expect, you know, even more upside. So Crute is coming off of a loss, a doctor stoppage from Anthony Smith. And so, you know, this is kind of a rebound fight, and we'll set him on a good trajectory. The good news is that, you know, it is, you know, on the main card of a fight, but it's not a main event. He is coming off a loss. And so I think that this fight, if he wins, will put him on the right trajectory back towards, you know, gaining momentum. But I don't think that this fight particularly is going to move the needle unless he has like a highlight reel knockout. So I think this could be potentially, you know, the start of something good for Jimmy Crute because he does have a great record once again, 12-2. But this is not the one where I see a lot of upside even if he wins. Now, as far as the main event, we got Rob Font versus Jose Aldo. Rob Font is ranked number 4, Aldo is ranked number 5, and Font is a slight favorite to beat Aldo, though it is very close. Now, Font is riding a 4-fight win streak, and this is his second main event in a row. But this is some tough competition. Aldo is a legend, and he's also, you know, on kind of a hot streak, and so this is going to be really good for, you know, for the winner of this match. There's a lot of focus on this match in particular. Now, what I would say is that Rob Font's cards are not in high demand in the Select set, so there's a lot of room for upside. So now facing, you know, a big name like Jose Aldo's second main event, you know, this I think can really put a spotlight on Rob Font with a win here. And so I do think because his cards are pretty low that, you know, this can really move the needle, a good win over Jose Aldo. And especially, you know, after this, I'm not sure if, I think that he'd probably go into a #1 contenders match after this. Haven't really done the look at it. But what I'm saying is that he's probably only another win after this away from fighting for the title. And so, you know, right now, while his cards are low, I do think it is a low-risk bet to grab a couple extra Rob Font cards. Now, Jose Aldo is on a 2-fight win streak. He's an established legend already, so he has an amazing legacy, and I do think that his cards are undervalued compared to his reputation and his legacy. I'm not sure how much movement you're going to have because, once again, like I said, his legacy is already established, so there's not a lot of unknowns there. He's just kind of having, you know, a second kind of run at the title. He's on a 2-fight win streak. If he wins here, it will make it 3 and kind of bring him even closer to that. I think he's in the same position as Rob Font in the fact that he probably needs another win, maybe a #1 contenders match before he got to fight for the title. But I don't see necessarily a lot of movement in there. But at the same time, his cards, I think, are really undervalued for who he is. And so you might see some extra people wanting to pick up cards for him, you know, in the chance that he goes for the title soon. And so I don't think it's a bad idea to pick up extra of his just because of who he is. So, you know, both of these fighters, I think it's a safe bet to pick up an extra 1 or 2 cards. Before we get to the pay-per-view, which is happening after the Font versus Aldo, let me skip ahead to December 18th because there's only one fighter here that has a card, and that is the main event fighter, Derek Lewis. So Derek Lewis is ranked #3. He's fighting Chris DAUKAUS, #7, and Lewis is a slight underdog, so DAUKAUS is favored to win. Lewis is a fan favorite, but he's also just had a really bad performance against Cyril Gane in his last fight. In fact, he is having a pretty bad performance even the fight before against Curtis Blades, but he got a knockout, I think it was in the 2nd round, so kind of that, you know, that put the very slow starting first round, you know, behind him. But, you know, because he had a really bad last fight, I think he needs a win here. I think that another loss, especially if it's a very poor performance, will really hurt him. So I'm not really sure how much more the needle will move with this one, with a win here, but I do think that a loss here would hurt him more than a win would help him. So place your bets accordingly. Alright, and now the pay-per-view on December 11th for UFC 69, Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier. So let's first cover the prelims. So on the prelims, early prelims, we got Matt Schnell. He is the only fighter with a UFC card on the early prelims. He's ranked #9 in flyweights, and he is an underdog, so they are expecting him to lose against Alex Perez. Now, Matt Schnell is 15-6, and in his last 4 fights, he's gone 2-2. And so there's a couple things. First, this is an early prelims, and so you know, the only people who are watching this are diehards, and so there's not going to be a lot of focus, a lot of people watching this matchup, and so you can't really expect it to move the needle. At best, it would just kind of restart the momentum for Matt. Matt's card is a rookie card in the select set, so that he does have that going for him, that if he gets on a hot streak, being a rookie card makes your card more desirable. So he does have that going in favor for him. But once again, I don't see the needle moving for this. I wouldn't take any bets on his cards because at best it's just going to kickstart momentum. But because he's gone 2-2 in his last 4, and you know, this is an early prelims match, so he doesn't have good placement on a card, you know, I do think a loss would would hurt him a lot, and who knows, maybe he'd be another loss away from being cut. So there is downside risk to this in kind of making this rookie card a bust if he loses a couple more. On to the prelims, which do have some more viewers. So the prelims, we have 2 different fighters who have UFC Select cards, and that is Dominick Cruz and Dan Ige. So first up, let's do with Dominick Cruz. Cruz is ranked #10 in the bantamweight, and he is, well, this is a pick'em. They're both -110, so they believe that this is a coin flip as to who is going to win. Dominick is 23-3, and he's already an established legend. He is having kind of a second run in his career. He had a layoff, a 4-year layoff from 2016 to 2020, and you know, he's kind of working his way back towards the bantamweight title, which he lost against Henry Cejudo in 2020 when I think it was vacant at the time. The nice thing about Dominick Cruz cards is, one, he's an already established legend with a long legacy, and so there's some safety in that even if he has a poor performance, people are going to remember him from, you know, his better days in the past. Also, the fact that he is one of the UFC's main announcers means that, you know, we're not going to forget about him. You know, his name and face is in front of us all the time, in front of UFC events. And so it's nice that he's not going to get lost to history, but, you know, kind of is always in front of us. And so his cards are, I think, like Jose Aldo, are undervalued for who he is and his legacy. And so I don't think it is a bad idea to pick up some of his cards. But because this is a prelim, I'm not sure how much this is going to move the needle. Now, Dan Ige is 15-4, and this is going to be the final prelims match. This is where kind of a lot of people start tuning in just before the main event card starts. And he's ranked number 9 in the featherweight division. He's facing a number 4, so he is an underdog in this, plus 180 underdog, where they're expecting him to lose this match. Dan's coming off a loss to the Korean Zombie. Zombie's obviously an amazing fighter, but you know, he needs this win to kind of regain some momentum. Another thing about Dan is his card, once again, is a rookie card in the set. So as I've said for all the others, you know, if he gets on a hot streak, it just makes his card even more desirable. But once again, it's a prelim match. You know, he doesn't have momentum already. He's not super well known, not a household name, and so I can't expect you know, this to really move the needle. At best, it would just kind of restart the momentum. But if you do want to take a bet on Dan, you can go ahead to the gallery and buy this 1 of 1 from me. Hey man, I gotta fit that in somewhere. If you so want. Not just kidding. Alright, and now on to the main event. So I'll just quickly scroll down so you can kind of look at all of the matches, and then we'll go over who has cards. You know, it's kind of funny. Actually, I should mention, I wasn't prepared to mention Sean O'Malley because he doesn't have a select set. But actually, I just remembered we're going to be getting UFC Chronicles, and Sean O'Malley is in the Chronicles set. So maybe we'll have Sean O'Malley cards by the time this happens. Of course, Sean O'Malley is a huge star, and you know, with every win that he gets, you know, his stock keeps increasing. And so maybe I'll just kind of throw in that Sean O'Malley, I mean, because he doesn't have a card in the select set and he is one of the most desirable people, I think people are already going to be trying to grab lots of Sean O'Malley cards. So it's not like, you know, it's not like his cards are just kind of sitting around. People are really going to want them. But, you know, another good win here. Sean's been killing it lately. His last fight was incredible as well. So the next one is Cody Garbrandt. Cody Garbrandt is ranked number 7 in the flyweight division, and he is a slight favorite to win, minus 170. Now, Cody is a big name, and he does have lots of fans, but he's kind of going through a hard stretch. And so his record is pretty nice at 12-4, but here's the thing, guys, is that 4 of his losses are all in his last 5 matches. So he's going through a really tough stretch. And, you know, another loss here would be really catastrophic for his record. And so, you know, I don't know. It's kind of hard. I mean, he's only 30. He's a big, well-known name. I'm not sure that they cut him after this if he loses here. But at the same time, if he can't pick up a win against somebody with you know, not as well-known of a name, and, you know, because of his record, you know, maybe Cody decides to call it quits himself, or at the very least his next fight, if he loses, you know, he most certainly would get cut. And so there is a lot of downside risk to Cody. Cody's only hope is here that he gets a win and starts making some good momentum in the future. But this is kind of, you know, this is do or die for him. So I can't expect a lot of upside potential. Cody already has a good name. He can only tarnish it at this point in time because his value is currently low, his record is really bad, and so, you know, one win isn't going to really, you know, erase all those losses. It can just really start him in the right direction moving forward. So, yeah, I wouldn't take a bet on Cody's cards. We can just quickly go over Amanda Nunes because, I mean, her value is at all-time high, 2-belt holder, female GOAT, minus 850 favorite to win. So, I mean, like, this is kind of like a no-brainer. No one is expecting her to lose. It's hard to move the needle because, you know, she's just expected to win every single match and already super accomplished. There's not much upside. I think the only thing is potential downside at a loss, but at the same time, even if it was just one loss, you know, the past accomplishments don't really take much away, and so I can't really see much movement here with her cards. Okay, finally, on to our main event, Dustin versus Charles. Dustin's ranked number 1. Charles is the champion, currently has the belt. But Dustin is a -160 favorite to win, and that is the consensus. If you kind of listen to UFC talk shows, you know, all the pros are all expecting Dustin to win, and Dustin's, you know, kind of right now at an all-time high. I mean, he just finished beating Conor McGregor twice in 2, you know, highly publicized matches. And, you know, he's just kind of looking at the prime of his career. And so, you know, people are expecting him to get the belt. He's already a desirable fighter to collect. And I just think that, you know, actually having the undisputed belt would kind of just make sure and solidify him in the like top 10 active fighters to collect. So I do see a little bit of upside if Dustin grabs the belt, but you've got to understand that his cards are already desirable. You know, those 2 Conor wins really put him in the limelight, and so people are already, you know, really high on him. So you can't move him much more, but at the same time, having the belt would definitely move him in the right direction even more, but especially if there's like a highlight reel finish. Now, Charles Oliveira would definitely be the sleeper pick. As far as champions go, he's kind of one of the least collected champions. He's very undervalued for his skill set. A lot of people, I mean, it's not that they don't like him, but I think that a lot of people just assume he's not going to be the champion for very long. Kind of just has his moment and then he's out. I think differently. I think that I'm actually going to pick Charles to win by submission, and you know, I think that this fight here, if he beats Dustin, I think that will kind of, you know, turn a lot of doubters into believers, because the fact is then his last 3 matches will be like going through Tony Ferguson, knocking out Michael Chandler, and then, you know, finishing Dustin Poirier. That would be, you know, very, very good, and that would, you know, it'd be hard to count him out if he goes through those 3 people in a row. And so I think that Charles has the opportunity here with a win to earn a lot of respect. And I think that if he wins this match, his cards are going to become a lot more desirable, because they are very low now compared to somebody in such a stacked division like lightweight actually holding the belt. And so I do think that, you know, if you think that there's a chance for Charles to win, and obviously, you know, the odds say it is a very close match, I do think that there's more upside to Charles winning than Dustin winning, because Dustin's already very popular. Okay guys, that's my thoughts. Remember, we probably are going to get UFC Chronicles next week before the UFC 269 main event. Those are my picks as far as what I think will move the needle and not. I do think that as far as December main events, my top 2 cards that I see potential upside in, if they get good wins, would be Rob Font and Charles Oliveira. I just think that those, relative to where their cards are now, have the most potential for upside with a win. And I didn't actually do a video for November, but I really feel that, you know, I don't know if you watch all the matches for November, but I really do feel like the events in November changed my perception of certain fighters. Like, for example, Max Holloway, as you know, was already looking really good, but that win over Yair Rodriguez just made him like look incredible to me, to the point where I want to kind of stack his cards as kind of like one of those almost untouchable guys. And so, and also Yair Rodriguez was not even on my radar as far as cards to collect, but he impressed me so much that I would pick up a couple extra of his cards at the right price. And so that was just an example of how the fights from last month changed my perception. Of course, there's others as well, but those are the kind of the most notable. And maybe, you know, the fact is that December's events has that same effect on me and you and other people, and can therefore move the needle on the values of these cards. So anyways, guys, hope that helps. Till next time, peace out.